Now our next talk at the technical track will be presented by Martin Saukums, a Magento expert now working on B2B merchant side, bringing in 10 years of experience working with the biggest Magento agencies. He always likes to find unique solutions without impacting the overall platform complexity. Please welcome Martins.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. Everything is correct. Did I mention 3 years on merchant end? Yeah. Okay, so at the first was really different to work on merchant end because you don't have anyone else to blame anymore. You are only you and the third-party modules you installed. So today I'm going to share our journey, how we had improved our B2B experience in our site, or at least we tried to do it. But yeah, we'll see. So a little bit about our company. Established in 1895, and we are specializing in containers, spill control, and filtration systems. With our 9 warehouses across the country, we serve our customers from Canada and USA, and we try to we make sure that we can sustain with our diverse client base. No video? Oh, here we are. So our company isn't just about the products, it's about the customer service. With over 17,000 products in stock, we try to fulfill the customer needs. Over the years, we had invested a lot of our offline purchasing experience, and so we understand that now it's time to move that professional experience to the website. So we started to find options how we can deliver that. At the Carry company, professionalism and explicit customer service is core of everything we do. With over decade of experience, we had gained a reputation from being reliable, professional customer service. And by doing that, we also understood that we want to bring the professionalism on the website. So how it was happening in the offline, the customer calls in, the sales reps can then suggest the better delivery options or better product suggestions. And as the e-commerce site has evolved in general, so we also understood that we just need to keep everything up to date. So we started to investigate how we can bring the professional to our website. To achieve this, we came up with some steps that we want to do. So we wanted streamlining purchasing experience, also personalized experience and transparent communication with customer, and efficient logistics. And yes, we really care about page performance. Everyone today is flexing with their page performance. So can you guess what we are using? Same old Luma. 9-year-old, and it's still going strong. I hope it's going still good after tomorrow, because I see the mats that he has, like the really red ones. But yeah, I hope it works out. But we had invested a lot of it, so we try to squeeze as much as we can. So, regarding to our first iteration, so we understood that we just need customers to display the availability and the warehouses from where you can purchase it. So to do it, it's pretty simple. We just create an index that will index in stock, out of stock, or back order on product listing page, because we don't want to load the whole stock data there, since we are aiming to have middle of the 2-second page load in the product listing page. And once the customer hovers on it, as you can see, we load the stock data. So that's all. We made it professional, and that's it. But not in our case. We wanted to extend it a bit further. As I joined the Carry company, our CEO had a vision to have availability to be available to detect the customer location and provide per customer location experience. We understood that without knowing it in advance, we wouldn't be able to provide the best possible options for delivery and suggestions. The same thing as the customer service is doing offline where we had invested. So we understood that we just need to create something that will help us get there. So we created warehouse selector. Looks like every website, every store now where you have multiple locations have a warehouse selector. So we also needed one. As I mentioned, the goal was to determine the customer location once the customer visits the site at first. So later on, he can provide the precise zip code or change the location as needed. At the beginning, when I started to work on the carrier company, we noticed that we have issues with the delivery. So, for example, customer from California is purchasing some items to his local warehouse, which is nearby him. So we rate it, everything is done, he placed an order. Then we verify it on our ERP systems and understood that we don't have it there because it didn't take stock in account. So then we need to call him back and either to provide bigger lead times or you need to ship it from a different warehouse by making the cost bigger. So we definitely need to change it. Because our shipping takes a big amount of our order total. And we had noticed that once the customer gets to the checkout, sometimes they just bounce off because they see that the big delivery amount. So then, based on that, we just collect the data and customer service need to reach out the customers directly and provide them better options. And during the pandemic, we noticed that a lot of customers had called in to ask for the specific quantities that we can buy, and maybe then when you have it on stock, you just then ship it later. So we understood that to resolve it, we just need to somehow get the data before we are adding products to the cart. So to detect the customer location, since we use Magento Cloud, there is Fastly installed. So Fastly provides a really great option to detect the customer location. For example, as you can see in a request, it just shows you the zip code. So we can then later use it. Why I'm mentioning it? Because I'm always trying to stay away from installing any third-party modules if possible, because it always requires maintenance or it slows the site down in general, and we just don't want it. So after we just had detected the customer location, here's the example how we are sorting the warehouses. Let's imagine the customer is in Chicago, and you can see that we have nearby warehouses by them, and then they can choose it from. This gives customer the ability to understand what's around him and for us to use it in later steps. So once the warehouse selector was done, we understood that we also can utilize it in our search. We are using Algolia search, and there's an option to provide per location product sorting. So we utilized that one. But there's a big catch on our company. Since we don't store all the products in the same warehouses, so our marketing team need to work a lot to come up with some solutions how to promote the closest one, but that also makes more sense and are relevant. So now we have the customer location. We understood that there are two cases that would make sense mostly. Customers want either ship it faster from the nearest warehouse or ship it the cheapest way possible, where you can back order from somewhere nearby. But after more research and brainstorm, we came up with the list of options. So basically there's an option now to just ship everything from the nearest one, where you have quantity, ship what's available in your preferred, that's Salt Lake City in this example, and ship to that are in the Salt Lake City, and remaining 46 from the as a back order, or just wait and reduce the cost and ship when you have available on our preferred one, or ship from two multiples. So these are the cases that made sense, and we went ahead and implement. So you can see the diagram how it works. Basically, once the customer triggers either add to cart or quantity change in any on the places where you can interact with the quantity, we are checking if the preferred warehouse has quantity that customer required. If it has, no problem, just add to cart. If not, then we are checking if other warehouses had in total the quantity that the customer wanted. If there's no one warehouse that has it, we just allow them to ship from multiple. If there are multiple ones that could fulfill it, so we can then make it available to just purchase from the single one, either back order or from one that he has selected, purchase available from the one that he selected, or just 2 shipments there. Sounds easy, but not in our case, as most of the because it's like B2B and it's always modified. So our website has a ton of integrations already add to cart. We have quantity increments, minimal quantity increments that can be either smaller than the increment, maximum quantity in the checkout. Some items are either back order, not even calling the tier prices, and special prices that we have from the ERP. So all those things needed to be validated before we show the possible options for the customer when they are choosing something or updating existing quantities in cart. That also happens. So warehouse selector and quantity display was easy. So let's move to something much more exciting and harder to do. All sounds straightforward, so just why not to add a simple pop-up and just get all the options and just call it done? Not in this case, because we have a ton of validation that we need to do. We also need to modify the data, and we just need to make sure that the data goes as we wanted in the ERP system. And also, we utilize Shipper HQ when we want to make sure that we also tell them either we are back ordering, either there are 2 shipments, or etc. It takes a lot of things in account. And also not counting that it's like B2B merchant and you need to communicate with a lot of inside people to make sure that this solution would fit them. So, to make it really simple, we just created one JavaScript knockout component that we are triggering across every place where the customer can interact with the quantity change or add to cart. It works fine, and the goal was to make it simple, extendable, maintainable. Pretty hard when we are building the module in that scale in Magento, but we managed to do it. It's out there. We haven't disabled it since go live, and it also had survived updates, patches. So we are pretty okay with what we had done. Okay. So how we made it simple? Easy. Before customer triggers interaction with the quantity or add to cart, we just fetch the API. And based on that, we just do all the logic in JavaScript so we can reuse it. So the JavaScript does the heavy lifting of calculating what the API response returns. The fetch API returns the quantities that we have in warehouse, and then in JavaScript we are then checking can split or can't split. And also in the PHP end, then we validated what the customer had selected when we adjust their request. And then we decide either we just delete the product or create a new ones, because we need to make sure that also when we update it, when the customer has it in the cart, we just need to make sure that it performs well. So there are examples of what we are returning. Basically, the warehouse API returns what we have with all the zip codes, and the customer location is mostly provided from the Fastly, and then the product stock API is being triggered every time we interact with quantity. So here is the example. It's a good one because you can see we have 86 available, but the quantity increments are 84. So we can't sell 86. We just need to validate and adjust to 84. So as I mentioned, our site requires a ton of, it has a ton of adjustments there. So the customer suggested then to split it to buy now what we have and ship later when we have available. So all is pretty understandable. We have one item in the cart and one item in the mini cart. What happens when during the time frame, for example, the quantity increases? Then we just need to evaluate it on the cart or checkout page, and we can show them, okay, we now have 186. Let's just pack them all together and ship as one. So I think great user experience. And let's see how it works on the shipper HQ end and now on the shipping stuff. All good. So while we worked on this, I had a plan to test everything manually because I was always staying away from the tests. Boo, I know. But it changed, because when you started to modify all those things that can happen and interact, you sooner or later understood that it's not possible to manually test it. So we spent time and we implemented Cypress. It ended up that it's pretty simple to set it up. It has a ton of flexibility. We had built our own, once you build the framework, because we had built framework to recreate the products, recreate the customers, and do all kinds of add to cart actions across the site. It all looks good, but there's one catch. It's not as perfect as we expected because what works local doesn't work on staging. Because on staging we have Fastly and all other interesting things that Magento Cloud provides, and sometimes the components isn't loading because of required JS and things like that. So we needed to tweak it, and as we were doing that, also Cypress get updated and everything started to work smoothly. Another suggestion to those people that want to install the Cypress on Magento Cloud, please don't do it. It's just a waste of time. Just set up another server. So this is how it looks like on our end with the Cypress cases. It just runs through it after every deployment. It's only for split shipment. We try to recreate them across the features that we create in the site. It works great. I'm really happy that it's there. It had cached a ton of bugs, even not related to the split shipment, because it goes through all the steps in the site. So I totally suggest to just do it. So what made it complex? We have a lot of product types and options available to choose from when we are determining the add to cart. We spent the time to investigate how we can make it not so complex at first, because we didn't want that it just will make the abandoned cart go up, or something like the PDP customer will see it and it will get confused. So we spent time how to just make it a bit simple, and we just eliminated only work with the preferred warehouse at first. And it also took a time for integration with our ERP system, because it also didn't like to have the same product by 2 times. As well, shipping calculations with Shipper HQ took some time to do it, but thanks to their support, we resolved that quickly. And as I mentioned, always the quantity increments. That's crazy, as usual. And issues with automated testing. So, what are the future plans? Ability to suggest the different products for the customers, alternatives. For example, you want a customer searching for one drum, it's not available to his location, but we have some alternatives, so we might promote it to have a better experience. Also, in the cart page, we can check if multiple things can be shipped from the same warehouse. So we can make the shipping costs a bit more friendlier. As well, I mentioned at the first beginning, we wanted to reduce the split shipping to display that often, but we will increase it because we see that it doesn't create that much offense. So, and also, I'm not a fan of it, but the category page product based on user location, that will be challenging as well. Maybe next talk, for next year. So, takeaways. we had a great success from our customer service. They like it. It had reduced their work a bit. Another good one being we haven't disabled it. It's up for only 6 months, but it's there and it runs strong. And people on our Trustpilot platform leaves a great reviews about how the site is more, it's better to use and better for understand for them. So that's it. Thank you for your time.